Hi, I am the Old Outdoor Broad, and welcome to the Old Outdoors! I love being in the outdoors. As a matter of fact, I'm pleased to be able to bring this to you from one of my favorite spots in the Arizona desert. More I will not say. But I want to keep being in the outdoors, doing the things I love doing for as long as I possibly can. And I woke up one morning and lo and behold, I was old. And I realized I needed to make some changes to how I did things so that I could keep going. So that's what the Old Outdoor Broad is all about. So we're going to start off today with revamping the camping, some of the things that I changed so that camping would be more comfortable for me. And again, so that I could keep doing it even though, yes, I'm getting old. So let's take a look at the first steps to revamping the camping. Now, when I first started considering the changes I wanted to make, I did think about getting a trailer and giving up tent camping. But I'm on my own most of the time, so even going to a trailer, while it would be easier in some respects, I mean, there are aspects to that, setting it up, leveling it, things like that, that I thought over the long term, would introduce their own problems. And they're expensive. So I thought, I could make a couple of adjustments and I'm perfectly comfortable in a tent and do some things to make it more comfortable and not necessarily have to go with a trailer. So that is a possibility. If you've been in a tent, you've done tent camping and you think you want a little more luxury, yeah, a trailer's a great way to go. I just think it's more conducive to 2 or more people, and for those reasons it wouldn't work for me. Now also, there's a spot like this. This is not a difficult spot to drive to, but I do have a 4-wheel drive vehicle and it does help. It's very isolated. So again, getting a trailer out to a spot like this, that would be a challenge for someone on their own. It might not be so bad with a couple of folks, but for me it just wasn't going to work out. So I had to look at how do I change the tent camping to make it work. So let's start. There were 2 basic and very simple changes I made that I think make a big difference for an older person wanting to stay out in the outdoors, camping, hiking, etc. So let's take a look at those 2 changes. So in my youth, this was the chair I took camping. I took the same chair camping and to the beach. This is a beach chair. And you can see it's low to the ground. Now the reason I like these is because you were close to the fire. So you can't go camping without a fire. So at night when you're sitting around the fire, this was low to the heat. You stretch out, you can lean it back and look at the stars and all that stuff. But now, the morning I woke up and realized I was old, it just got to be trouble to get out of the chair. I can still get out of this chair, but look where my knees are in relationship to my hips. And again, when you're aging, this is the kind of wear and tear. I don't need it. I don't need this. There's got to be a way, I thought, to be around the campfire in a comfortable chair and not put this kind of wear and tear. I'll prove that I can get up out of it. So I bought this. So this is obviously a chair that is normal. My knees are slightly below my hips while I'm in it. Has a nice little cup holder, and look at what it does. And I'll show you the mechanism by which it does this. So yeah, I'm not quite so close to the fire anymore, but so what? I can deal with that. I put on a down vest and I'm okay. At least my feet are by the fire, and that's the important thing. So let's take a look at this rocker, because this is really cool. So when I went looking for a revamped chair, I thought they gotta make rockers for this kind of stuff. And I actually found 2 types. One that is on a normal set of runners, like a rocker at home, and then this. And let's get in close to see how this works. And as you can see, the feet, the legs, are flat on the ground, and you can see how rocky and uneven this ground is. And the way it rocks is through like a shock absorber or a piston. That rod goes in and out there on a spring mechanism, and it allows it to rock any kind of ground. So this is really, really cool. I've been extremely happy with this purchase. So this was the first small change I made to revamping the camping. Saves wear and tear on my knees, and I do have arthritis in my right knee. So over the long haul, this is something that's going to make a big difference for me. Just a little change like this. And again, it's just so cool to have the rocker, and it works great. Now, let me show you how easy it is to manage this chair. Here we go. Let's go around. Okay, so there's a handle right here, and you just pull up on that handle, and the chair folds up. And of course, when you get it out of your car to unfold it, there it is. The second change I made was I needed to change tents. So as you can see, this is my old tent here on my left, and this is my newer tent here on my right. So given my discussion about why I changed chairs, it's probably pretty obvious why I changed tents. This is a fabulous tent. I took it backpacking with a partner, 2 dogs. I took it car camping. It's been everywhere. It's by Sierra Designs. Super stable in the wind, and it's been through wind, but there's a big difference between this and this. So the first thing is, obviously, I can't just walk into this, and I needed to stop crawling into the tent in the morning and at night. Or if you get out someplace, and this has happened a couple of times, and it's raining, you're either going to sit in the car or you're going to lay down in this. So I just couldn't crawl in and out of it. Now the other thing that should be obvious with this tent is getting dressed. So this means, for the most part, you have to get dressed and undressed laying down. And the fact is, my calves started cramping when I was laying down trying to wiggle into things. But let me show you something. But you can't do this when you have pads and all kinds of stuff. But this is kind of a cool thing about this tent. So you could unzip the viewer here at the top and stand up in this tent and you know, get dressed and such. But again, pads and stuff, your feet get caught up in it, and you know, I'm old, so it was just not working for me. So I had to change tents. So this is my newer car camping tent. This is a Big Agnes Gilpin Falls Mountain, Powerhouse 4 Mountain Glow. That's quite a mouthful. And the main reason I bought it, or I should say, when I was researching tents, I wanted to be able to, one, walk in and not have to crawl in. So I wanted to be able to do that. And 2, I wanted to have enough room to have some, you know, living space, if you will. So part of that living space is in the old tent. I was on the ground. I slept with a pad. When I quit backpacking and went to just car camping, I bought this really thick foam pad. It was really nice, and that's what I slept on in there. And that's why I mentioned it got really hard to use that opening in the top of the tent, because you're on the foam pad and a sleeping bag, and you know, I'm old, so that wasn't working out. So I wanted to be able to go to a cot. And again, I didn't want to be crawling. I wanted to just get into bed, a lot like you would at home. But more than that, I wanted to be able to do this. Put on my shoes. Oh, God. So that may sound like a small and silly thing, but for me, crouched in that thing, trying to put on my boots or my shoes, much more trouble than it's worth. You know, I mean, like I said, my calves would cramp and things like that. So this made a whole lot more sense. Okay, so to wrap up this first episode, let's just take a quick tour of my campsite. Okay, so one of the things I always look for is a tree for a variety of reasons. So you see the cooler. I like to put the cooler in the shade. I don't keep it in the car. The car gets too hot. Plus, of course, I may need to go somewhere. I always have a trash bag. And then there you can see my chair. Now, I also have skin cancer, so I have to have shade, and I don't want to carry any more structures or buildings than I have to. So having a tree to get out of the sun is really, really important to me. Now, when I was filming earlier, I did not wear a hat. I did have sunscreen on, of course, but I do wear a hat, and as you saw, I do wear long sleeves, again, because of the skin cancer. So let's look around at the kitchen area. So as you can see, I have some paper towels in the tree. The trees are great. They hang things, you support things. I have that table. That table comes with 2 stools that fold up. As a matter of fact, the whole table folds up to look like a suitcase. And the stools, one functions as a table over by the campfire at night, and the other is actually in the tent as an end table next to my cot. Because of modern Bluetooth and solar power and whatnot, I have a Kindle, I have a Bluetooth speaker, I have my phone. I don't have any service out here, but I do have music on my phone, and I do like music for all the things that I don't like. Camp lighting has advanced so much over the years. Now I have this little thing here over the table for the night, and I don't know if you can see, but I do have lights strung on the tree branch, and those provide a little ambient light and decorative. There's some really cool lighting available that I haven't tried yet, but maybe someday. This I bought a couple years ago. It makes having a camp kitchen in the middle of nowhere really, really easy. Stove on the top, water, and you can see my dishes on the table portion from this morning's breakfast. You know, the only thing I don't like about this is the table is a little low. I do wish it were a little bit higher, but I really like this unit. So in this camp, here is my campfire spot. My chair is in the shade right now, but there's the little table. It's actually a stool that works with the folding table, but I use it as a table at night around the campfire. So for all the shade, it's also important to have sun, and it's important to have power. So this is a Boulder 50 from Goal Zero solar panel, and right behind it, let me just zoom in on it there, is a Goal Zero Yeti 150. Now for me, this works fine. Again, I'll go into more detail about these things later, but this enables me to have that little speaker, the phone, this video camera, and the Kindle, and know that I will never run out of power. Now this is a Juice solar panel, and you can see it actually goes into the tent. Now this is, as I mentioned, a powerhouse tent, meaning it comes equipped with a battery. And again, at night I can power the Kindle, the phone, whatever I need to do, but this is how I keep that battery charged, so I don't have to pull that battery in and out of the tent. I like the flags. I bought those because, well, what says Everest more than prayer flags, even if we're here in the southwestern desert? But they also add color, so I like having the flags around my campsite. And then just to give you a little bit of the view, as you can see, I'm quite isolated in this spot, and I really, really enjoy coming out here. Well, that's it for the first episode of the Old Outdoor Broad. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful. Please tune in for the second episode. I'm going to start reviewing equipment, talk about why I bought it, what works, what doesn't, what is Old Broad certified, so that you can make good decisions about staying active and enjoying to the utmost the old outdoors. Thank you very much.